up, you guys? Welcome back to episode 8 of Ground Zero. We are looking this week, obviously, to bounce back from the past couple videos where we haven't done so well at the locals. Exciting news, though, we have our new ban list, so this will be the first video since the ban list has dropped. Obviously, the ban list has affected some of the cards in our deck, and so changes will have to be made. I'll just talk about some additions. We have decided to add 3 Solemn Strikes. They run for about 25 cents for the commons and supers. We have also added 2 Lightning Storm. They run for the $3 to $4 range, usually around $3.50 you can get them for at their cheapest. And then we are also running 1 Harpy's Feather Duster. Again, this runs $3 to $4, usually around that $3.50 range. You'll end up picking it up. So this comes out to around $11. We were working with $42, so we're sitting at $31 left over to roll over for next week. So let me get into this deck and show you guys the things we've changed. Alright, so obviously starting out with the main deck, we are still running the 3 bricks. We're still running the 2 OGs and the 1 jet. This is all pretty much going to be standard what we've been doing. 3 sage, 3 maiden, 3 Neo Kaisers, and then for the spells for the engine, 3 wish, 2 roar. The second one always, and at least in this build, always comes up. The 1 ultimate fusion. I know a lot of people cut this, but honestly this helps circumvent a lot of cards, especially like this has gotten me through a lot of Chaos Angels. 1 Mausoleum, standard brick, the other standard brick, the True Light, and then the Majesty pop. And then for the 2 non-engine spells, we're gonna main deck the Call by the Grave and the newly limited Crossout Designator. I thought about running one of these, if not both, in the side, but we're running 43 cards in the main, so it helps hide the bricks by a small percentage. I think by like another 6 or 7%. So I mean that does help a little bit, and I just don't want to see any of these bricks. And then we're running all of our hand traps here, running the 3 Ash, 3 Droll, 3 Veiler, 3 Nib. We're still main decking the 3 Ghost Ogres because this will help into the duo drive, if not also the mirror. The 2 Bystials, we're still rocking the Baldrake and the Magnemite. Bystials hurt Rizio more now than they did before, because if you're able to get that detonator to the grave, even if they try to Eclipse Twins it, you can now Bystial it, and now no more detonators since now it's at 1. So these hurt Rizio more now than they did before. And then 3 Imperms. For the extra deck, no changes here. For the links, we got our 2 Spirits, 2 Seals. For our Synchros, we have 2 Blue Eye Spirit Dragons, 1 Ultimate Spirit Dragon, the Lightstorm Dragon, the Black Rose Moonlight Dragon, our Ultimate Slayer target, our Golden Cloud Beast Malong. For our fusions, we have 2 Tyrants, the 1 Neo, and then for our XZs, the 1 Indigo Eyes, and then our Slayer target of Meteorologic Aggregator. Again, nothing's changed here with the extra deck. Most of the changes are like some changes with the main, and some things we added, bumping to 43. And then most of the stuff is here in our side deck. So in the side deck, we're running 3 Solemn Strikes. This is to sub for Nib, or at least 2 of the Nibs. When we go first, it's just also really good with if you're playing Tyrant Control. It's trap, so you can set it back. Standard 3 Lancia for the Malice matchup. Ghost Bell. This card was really sneaky good for me this past month or so. Honestly, I think this is a card that a lot of people slept on, and honestly, I think it got even better with the hits from the ban list now. I think this card will put in a lot work, even more work than it did before. And again, I think it's just a really sneaky tech option to use. And then for our breakers, the 3 Ultimate Slayer. Again, my favorite breaker right now in this format. And the back row removal, 2 Lightning Storm, 1 Harpies. Alright, so those are the changes we made this week. Hopefully they're enough to get us back on this win streak. Alrighty, so round 1, we play against Fire King Tenpai. We win the dice roll. We end on a board of Spirit and Ultimate Fusion. Our opponent isn't able to push through the combination of Spirit and then Spirit into Ulti. Actually, let me say this. It was interesting. My opponent was main decking that Final Bringer card. It was the target 1 on your field, target 1 on your opponent, and pop. So he actually opened with that, and we had to waste our Spirit on our own True Light, which then we tagged into Ulti. He wasn't able to play through the Ulti Spirit negate plus the Fusion pop. So he's not able to play through that. Next turn, we run into his second Final Bringer that was face down on through turn 3. So it wipes out a lot of our board. Leaves us a Tyrant though. So we do able to do some chip damage to Tyrant. We make another Spirit during main 2. So we end with Tyrant, a Spirit, and a Veiler in hand. The opponent's not able to play through the Spirit and the Veiler in hand, so it's just GG from there. Game 2, our opponent opens rough. He starts with the field spell, so I know that's a bad hand, so we ogre that. And then he just normal summons our Avada and passes. We're able to push through the board. We don't kill. Our opponent, passing back to our opponent just sets down what ends up being a face down Tenpai Fadra. But I have full combo, and once he realizes, he kind of just auto scoops. There is a world where he may have been able to survive, but with the spirits, it's just very easy for me to tag out and just like return that back to his hand during the battle phase, because I was most likely going to attack with Tyrant first anyway. Round 2, we play against our boy High ZTCG. He's on his RDA. I win the dice roll game 1. Thank God for the one of call by. He had Ash for our wishes, but we had the call bias for his Ash, so we were able to push that through. But our Maiden does get Bestialed. So we end on a board of like Spheres and Majesty. The opponent is able to... We get the Bestial Magnum up off the Spheres tribute. He's able to clear it. He gets the OG RDA out. He's able to clear it, but on the next follow-up, we just clap back with full combo, and it just, our opponent scoops. Game 2, we didn't open too many hand drops. We opened Ogre. I decided to Ogre on his Bone Archfiend, which wasn't a good idea, but I just figured I'll just give it a shot here, because we opened some good board breakers, which I'll get into. So he ends on the 1 beefy Synchro that doesn't do too much until he goes to the grave, and he ends on 3 back row, including Red Rain. Luckily, we opened Harpies and Ultimate Slayer. The problem was I forgot that Soul protects all cards from destruction once per turn. So I opened with the Harpies. He was able to protect everything, all his back row with Soul. I had Slayer, so I was able to get rid of it. But because of the miscue of using one before the other, I wasn't able to combo in anything. And then he just wins the grind game because he still has like Gaia on the field and all that stuff. So we lose the grind game on that. And then game 3, we have about 10 minutes left. I take a risk. I side in 3 Solemn Strikes. Luckily, we were lucky enough to open one. So we end on a Spirit with the Majesty pop and a Solemn Strike. My opponent opens MST for the True Light. We have to negate our own True Light with the Spirit, which we tag into the Omni. I allowed my opponent to play. As soon as he made Red Rising, I solemned it in the summon window, and then there was nothing he can do from there. He just had to pass with like 3 minutes left, and obviously, besides just doing more damage, I also had just full combo, so he just scoops it up. Round three. There's not much to say about this game. So we lose the dice roll. My opponent makes me go first, and at this point, I'm worried. And we brick. We brick so bad, so we have to do the good old normal summon Veiler. Turn it into Spirit of Eyes of Blue. It gets us into a non-board. I think we end on like True Light and OG Blue Eyes, and either Majesties or the Ultimate Fusion. Either way, we are met with a Harpy's Feather Duster. So yeah, that's we just lose right there, and my opponent goes combo, and we are not able to do anything. Game 2 is more of a game. Again, I choose to go first. We put up a good fight. My opponent starts being able to push through. I have a nib in hand that I saved. I'm able to nib him. The problem is the nib token I give him, I don't get into anything that outs the actual token because it's so big. And then my opponent just pretty much, after, I think, turn 4, just follows to cook me. So there's not much there. And then round 3, we play against Draco, the new one off the ban list. I'm gonna butcher it, like Peacemaster with the stun. We win the die roll. We end on Spheres and Imperm. He gets out one of the Draco Slayer monsters, not the one that's unaffected by monsters, but I bounce him during the battle. My opponent still has 3 set cards and the trap face up. He just scoops. I don't know if that was the right call, but he scoops, so we win. Game 2, he goes first. We get floodgated by Tikaboo. I kind of misplay. I was going for an Ultimate Fusion line, but instead of fusioning from using materials in the grave, leaving my Blue Eyes in there, I brought one to the field, and I was like, wait, no, now I can't do it. So we were sitting on a Blue Eyes in defense, and it made it as he gets, as he's pretty much just controlling the board with Tikaboo. We get lucky, though, because we have an Ultimate Fusion face down, and then our opponent decides to pop or send or whatever the card does to be able to special out his big new Floodgate monster, or the tower, the old tower. And as soon as that Tikaboo hits the graveyard, we Ultimate Fusion and pop it, and then our opponent just auto scoops. So fortunately, we had the Ultimate Fusion as the one out to that card. Alright, as you can see, we were feeling good this week. We finished X1. Unfortunately, not good enough to top this week. The 3-1 was not good enough. We ended up not making top 4. We ended up in 5th place. So there's better luck next week in terms of getting prizing. Unfortunately, didn't pull anything out of my OTS, but the deck felt good. Obviously, it's pretty much the same deck minus a couple changes. You know, anytime we saw the cross out, we won the game. So I'm very happy with it, and I'm also very excited because we have Stampede that just dropped. With Stampede dropping, especially for Blue Eyes, we have a lot of cheap reprints that we can just add to this deck now, as long as I can get my hands on them, of course. So I'm very excited for that. We're going to have $41 to play with next week, so I'm very excited to see what we can do now that Stampede is dropped. If you guys are excited, let me know down in the comments. Let me know what you would suggest we do with this deck going forward. If you guys are liking the series, please leave a like on the video. If you haven't subscribed to the channel already, please subscribe. It's very easy to unsubscribe if you end up not liking me down the road. Again, I hope you guys enjoy the content. Thank you guys, and have a good one.